juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train.
Win number 4 on the season. Phoebe, I'm going to start with you. What has happened over the last couple of games, especially 2 runs over the last 18 innings for the Big Train? How did they get back on track today?
Yeah, so I think the issue we've been seeing has been on the defensive end, just falling short early on in the game. We've seen their opponents take an early lead, and that's just been really hard for the Big Train squad to come back from. I mean, once you start to get down, it's really hard to build that momentum back up. So I think today what we need to see is them get back on track, really start putting runs on the board early and fielding everything cleanly to start off so that they don't find themselves in a deficit early on again.
Yeah, Phoebe, you kind of mentioned it. The fielding is the big issue so far for this team. I was talking to my dad earlier, there have been a lot of Bermuda Triangle situations where 2 outfielders come in, 1 infielder goes back, and the ball drops right in the middle. And so to me now, that's the Bermuda Triangle of death pretty much, because then you have a situation where that's a base hit. Mm-hmm. And the base hits just keep coming, and then next thing you know, Big Train are down a couple runs. We've also seen a little bit of errors in kind of the second base shortstop area. I know Sal is definitely looking to clean that up. He said, I talked to him before the last home game, and he said, I asked him if he was nervous. And he said, no, I'm not nervous at all. You know, this is the first couple of games. The roster, the lineup is still changing so much. We had new guys coming in as close to the last home game, so he's just waiting to find that consistency that he hasn't necessarily found yet, but he's not nervous at all. I think they'll get back on track.
And as you mentioned, the Big Train, a league-leading 12 errors so far on the season. And Kaylee, I do want to ask you touched on this a little bit a moment ago. You've been down on the field. You've been talking to Sal Colangelo, the manager for the Bethesda Big Train. What have you been hearing about sort of the spirits of the team as they're amidst a little bit of a lull?
The spirit of the team is still good. These guys really like each other, and I think the most important thing is they're here to play. They care about summer ball. I feel like sometimes with summer teams, you get sort of a lull, right? Like, it doesn't matter the same way college does, but I don't think that's the same attitude that this team has. They want to win, and Sal always has a winning mentality. I think that was pretty obvious when he put Brandon Cassidy in the game against the Crop Dusters, a game Cassidy was not supposed to play, and he put him in with 2 outs left in the 9th inning, I believe, to close the game out to ensure that they got the win. And that winning mentality is true throughout the bench. Like I said, they're not down. They just want to win, especially someone who's been particularly vocal is Chris Diaz. He is always vocal in the dugout, always has that facial expression like, I want to get out there and go win. He had a home run yesterday, actually. So I wouldn't be shocked if that carries over today and they're in the mindset of, okay, we've got to get this back on track. 3 losses in a row is not characteristic of us.
Absolutely. And that winning mentality has definitely shown up on the mound, especially yesterday. Great outings from Peyton Prescott, Ariston Vesey, and Aiden Kelly, only allowing 2 runs against the Grays. Unfortunately, his offense could not pick him up. Chris Diaz, though, with the 1 run on the home run. Phoebe, I'm going to start with you. Looking at today, who on offense are you looking for to maybe provide a spark, one that the Big Train haven't had over the past couple of games?
Honestly, I think I'm looking forward to seeing Emilio Gonzalez step back out to the plate today. We saw him. He wasn't in the lineup last night. We saw him on deck to pitch hit, but he didn't get the opportunity last night, so I'm excited to see him get back at the plate. He's a strong hitter for the Big Train. He's had a lot of success at the plate, so I'm excited to see him get back out there.
I would say Josh Goronski, he was huge in that game against the Crop Dusters. Big Train were down 9-4, I believe, heading into the bottom of the 8th, and he hit a home run in that game and a 2 RBI double. And I talked to him actually before the game today. It's Grandparents' Day, which means a lot to him in particular because he has the handwriting of his grandparents tattooed on his arm, so I wouldn't be shocked if he uses that for extra motivation today.
Yeah, both Gonzalez and Skoronski, very important offensive contributors for the Big Train this season so far over these first few games. I thought, as you said, Phoebe, I thought Gonzalez might have a Kirk Gibson moment if the batter before him was able to get on base, but unfortunately he was not able. But the Big Train taking on a Metro SoCo Braves team that has stood out in the South Division thus far. Phoebe, I'm going to start with you. Who on the Braves are you looking out for to make a big impact? Who's in the starting lineup today, whether they are pitching or hitting?
Well, I'm excited to see Jaden Cholera step up to the plate. He just made it down here. This is going to be his first at-bat all season. He's a very strong hitter in college, so I'm excited to see him step out into the Cal Ripken League for the first time this summer, and I'm sure his teammates are as well.
I haven't taken a close look at the Braves roster, but I know that South Division is really close. At one point, they all had 500 records going 2-2 each team, so I'm quite sure they are looking to sort of edge out the competition in that South Division and get the win today.
Big Train still looking for their first win over a team from the South Division this season in the CRS CBL. Should be a good one today here from Shirley Povich Field. Again, an early start. Let's see if the Big Train can also induce a little bit of a wake-up call as we are set to start here from Shirley Povich Field at Cabin John Regional Park very soon. We are going to be right back with the first pitch. Kaylee, thank you for joining us. We'll
Thanks
see you
for having me.
in just a few innings. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
Hello and welcome to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park. I hope you brought your coffee and donuts because we've got an early start here between the Metro SoCo Braves and the Bethesda Big Train. A 10 a.m. first pitch, Phoebe, the first of two this season. I hope you've got your coffee and donuts as well. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, honestly. I mean, it was a little hard to get out of bed this morning after the late game last night. Well, I say late game. It started earlier and yet didn't get into bed until about 1 in the morning. But I'm excited to be here. It's very nice coming in for a morning game. You know, it's very cool out to start the day, and the sun doesn't appear to be an issue on the field as it normally is at 7 p.m., you know, just starting to set. So hopefully that'll bring some advantages to our outfield today without having the sun in that inopportune spot today, you know, starting off in the early morning. And I'm excited to see Jake Villar take to the mound again. This is only his second time taking the mound this season.
As Villar will look to get the train back on the tracks. Again, Bethesda losers of 3 straight, looking for win number 4 as they're trying to play catch-up with the Gaithersburg Giants, who currently sit ahead of them in the North Division standings. The Braves coming to Shirley Povich, a member of the South Division, where the Big Train are still looking for their first win from a team from the South. And Villar looking to be the guy to catalyze win number 4. Again, a slightly rough outing in his first go, but looking to bounce back today against the Braves, who are not short on offensive prowess. A lot of very talented hitters in their lineup, especially towards the top and the middle, as they're going to lead off with the center fielder, Billy Fluharty.
That's right. Billy has made 17 at-bats so far this season. He's currently batting at a .353 average, so a very strong hitter, as you mentioned, and they've got a couple of hitters throughout their lineup that are batting at a .400 average right now in the season.
So here at this 10 a.m. start, the early morning first pitch is in there for a strike. Fluharty coming to the CRS CBL from Bucknell up in Pennsylvania, as the 0-1 pitch is flat out into right field. Ranging over is Skowronski, but that one will drop foul, and the count will move to 0-2.
Skowronski doing well to speed on over towards that right field line. Again, not having to deal with the sun hitting him directly in the eyes as they normally do at 7 p.m. here at Shirley Povich Field.
Also, I am curious if a ball does end up there or on the warning track, which is made of gravel, if any outfielder dares to slide or dive.
Well, as Kaylee mentioned in our pregame shot, this team has a winning mentality, so I think they're going to give it their all.
As Fluharty is down on 3 pitches.
Not a bad start for Jake Villar, striking out the first batter he's faced so far.
Probably as good of a start as you could have asked, as the left fielder Caleb Sanders will step up to the plate. Formerly a Dayton Flyer, but is looking for a new home this fall.
He hails from East Point, Michigan, a rising junior.
As the first pitch to Sanders is lined out into right center field. That'll drop into the gap and over the wall for a ground rule double. So Sanders wasting no time, catalyzing some good offense here for the Braves as he hits the sweep and flex celebration that's percolated throughout several levels of baseball, namely the college level. Not a bad way to start the morning for Sanders.
Not a bad way at all, and that's not surprising. He's a very strong arm. He attended Detroit Edison High School and helped lead the Pioneers to district championships and was named All-City twice. So a very strong arm.
Entered this game just 3 of 16 on the season. Not a bad time for hit number 4, as the right fielder catcher Halligan, a CRS CBL veteran, steps up to the plate with 1 out and a runner on second.
So rising senior at Houston Christian University, hailing from Sugar Land, Texas. He recently transferred to HCU from McLennan. Now in his 21 at-bats in the Cal Ripken League, he's posting a .286 average. In high school, he recorded a .400 average. So again, another very strong arm to start off this SoCo, Metro SoCo Braves lineup.
As the 1-0 pitch is high for a ball. Last season with the Braves, he led them in most major offensive categories. Looking to do the same this summer.
No stranger to summer ball.
The 2-0 to Halligan. Fouled off for strike one. Houston Christian, formerly coached by former longtime major leaguer Lance Berkman, who recently stepped down just a couple of weeks ago. Here comes the 2-1. That one's lined through the hole, base hit. As Sanders will stop at third. Not many runners have tried Skoronsky's arm down there in right field ever since he nailed a runner at the plate earlier in the season. So the Braves have runners on the corners with one out. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter,
who's also their pitcher for tonight, number 43, Parker Edwards. Now, Edwards is also a rising senior at Houston Christian University. He hails from Houston, Texas. His brother Hunter was also a pitcher at the University of Houston. This past season at HCU, he posted a 5.33 ERA.
And now Villar trying to work out of another jam. Finding himself in a similar situation to his last start. Would like a different result. First pitch to Edwards is outside for a ball. So one thing we've talked about a lot this season is the Big Train have fallen behind a handful of times. Looking to avert another instance of that here. As the 1-0 pitch is lined through the hole, base hit. So Sanders will score. The Braves strike first as the Houston native rockets a grounder into left field.
Situation the Big Train has found themselves in time and again as they match up with these Southern Division teams. Getting behind in the score early on, which gets them in a difficult position, but I'm excited to see how, as this team gets to know each other better, build that chemistry within the dugout and the bullpen, how they start to come back from this adversity. They've been in a very adverse position to start off the season, so I'm excited to see how they come together to come out of this adversity. As Kaylee mentioned, manager Sal Colangelo has a winning mentality, and as we've mentioned time and again on the broadcast, speaking with the players on media day, they all share that winning mentality.
One-0 pitch is swung on and missed for a strike.
Now at bat is number 46, Jack Pokarak. Pokarak is one of the players in this Braves lineup that is posting a .400 batting average in just his 5 at-bats this season.
As the 1-1 pitch is outside for ball 2. Jack, one of 2 Pokeraks on the Metro SoCo Braves. Hailing from Dumfries, Virginia, currently at Patrick and Henry Community College. As the 2-1 pitch is flied out into center field, Bastion will watch this one go.
Sailed over the fence there.
A 3-run shot from Jack Pokarak. And the Braves have an early 4-0 lead.
As I mentioned, one of the strongest arms in this Braves lineup. In just 5 at-bats, he's already posting a .400 batting average. And you can see right there why, in nailing a home run at his first at-bat this morning.
Pokarak, arguably Patrick and Henry's best hitter last season. 6 homers and 65 RBIs. As the former High Point Panther gave that one a ride.
Now stepping up is number 2, Jaden Carter, a rising sophomore at Longwood, also hails from Dumfries, Virginia. Now, he did not see action at Longwood in the 2024 season, but he was rated the number 2 catcher and number 33 overall player coming out of Virginia by Perfect Game USA.
As he quickly finds himself in an 0-2 hole. people are wasting no time trying to rectify the deficit as the 0-2 pitch is fouled off. So Colorado has pretty steady production for Nicholls State in his 3 years with the back-to-back Southland champs, as that one's chopped to first. Glove by Gonzalez, and he's got the force for out number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, we found Leo. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Now stepping up to plate, as you mentioned, number 32, Jaden Cholera. This is his first at-bat with the Braves this summer. He just arrived recently. But he is a rising senior at Nicholls State University, hailing from Hammond, Louisiana. This past year, he had 66 at-bats to compile a .258 batting average. He went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School. While there, he was named the LSWA Class 2A All-State after compiling a .487 average his senior year of high school. So again, a very strong arm.
1-1 pitch is skied into shallow left field. Newman fighting off the sun as he'll make the catch for out number 3. But once again, the opposition taking a big lead early on. The Braves on the back of a home run from Jack Pokorak lead 4-0 as we head into the bottom of the first inning. You are listening to Big Train Baseball Network.
Try our home run.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where the Big Train find themselves on an early 4-0 deficit, as Jordan Crosland will lead things off for Bethesda, facing Parker Edwards, who recorded a base hit last inning, looking to continue that success on the bump, as the first pitch to Crosland's in the dirt for a ball.
Crosland finding himself at the top of the lineup yet again. He's seemed to have solidified that position for himself this season. He currently has 4 runs and 1 home run in just his 19 at-bats this season.
As the 1-1 pitch to Crosland's fouled off. As you said, Crosland entering this game just 4 for 19 on the season, as that one's lined foul. But he was all over that one, just like he was yesterday. He took one pitch way down the left field line, got the full barrel on it, just was a tad early. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Off speed, fly ball into left field. Back goes Sanders, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. So allowed out there to start for the Big Train, and that'll bring up the center fielder Jaden Bastian, who is currently tied for the team lead in hits with 6, along with Landon Franklin, who is not in the starting lineup today.
That's right. He's currently recording a 240 batting average. In his 25 at-bats, he's gotten off 5 runs, 6 hits, as you mentioned, 1 double, and 3 base hits. Now, we mentioned at the start of the game that one thing the Big Train really needed to focus on today was fielding errors, being clean in the field, not letting those silly errors cause them to drop in the score, but that didn't seem to be a problem even in the first inning. Looks like they're just going to have to battle against some really, really strong arms from the Braves.
As Bastian gets caught swinging on the ball low, that'll move the count to 2-1. Two-one pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. So Bastian perhaps looking to emulate the success his Jacksonville teammate Peyton Prescott had yesterday on the mound. Pitched 2 seamless innings as the 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So a good job by Edwards to battle back. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up the first baseman Emilio Gonzalez, who's back in the starting lineup after taking a ground ball to the leg a couple of games ago. Forced him out of the lineup yesterday, as we said in the pregame, was set to pinch hit.
But did not get the opportunity, unfortunately. He'll get his chance at bat today.
First pitch to Gonzalez, a check swing foul.
One of the stronger arms on the Big Train squad, currently posting a .375 batting average and just his 8 at-bats so far this season.
That one's chopped to the third baseman Can, and that one's on to first for out number 3. So a scoreless bottom of the first for the Big Train. They go down in order. The Braves lead 4-0 as we head into the top of the second inning. You're listening to Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network as Bethesda trails 4-0 as we head into the top of the second inning. As the leadoff batter is going to be Dylan Can.
Number 34, another batter for the Braves that's posting a .400 average.
Second offering to Can, a check swing as the umpire ruled he went around for a strike.
He's currently a rising junior at the New Jersey Institute of Technology. He hails from Broomall, Pennsylvania. He went to Marple Newton High School. While there, he was a first-team All-Deco and first-team All-Central.
As Villar brings the count to 1-2. NJIT not known as a baseball powerhouse. However, they did produce Mark Leiter Jr., who is the cousin of Jack Leiter. Currently plays in the MLB, who is the son of Al Leiter, a longtime MLB pitcher. Now, I don't want to completely discount NJIT. They did make one NCAA tournament in 2021. So they have been on the national stage before. As Can looking to lead off the inning with a hit. Working the count full. Again, entering this game 10 of 25 so far in the season with 4 RBIs and just 2 strikeouts, but on the verge of number 3. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So there's that off speed that Villar prides himself on. Getting one of the toughest guys to strike out, down swinging.
So again, he starts off the inning striking out the first batter he faces. We'll see if he can build that momentum as he faces the next hitter, number 27, AJ Labrusciano.
As he'll take the first pitch high and outside for a ball. Labrusciano entering today just 1 of 17.
He's a rising junior at Rider University. Hails from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
As he'll look at the 1-0 pitch for a strike.
His father, Jim, was a 4-year starter at Tusculum College.
Villar wasting no time as Labrusciano chops that one foul for strike 2. Played for the Braves last season, collecting 16 hits, along with 6 RBIs this past season with the Bronx. Going just 7 for 36 at the plate.
Posting just below a 200 batting average.
As that
with the
curveball
right.
is high and outside for a ball. The 2-2 offering. And that one got Labrusciano.
Just above the elbow there.
So the 9-hitter will take his base. That'll bring it back to the top of the lineup with Billy Fluharty.
Again, Fluharty posting an above 300 batting average this summer. The rising sophomore at Bucknell University, his dad, Bill, played basketball at Frostburg, and his mom, Kelly, was a swimmer at Salisbury.
First pitch to Fluharty. That one's skied into right field, and that'll drop for a base hit. Labrusciano gonna head into third standing up as Fluharty makes it runners on the corners with just 1 out. That'll bring up the left fielder, Caleb Sanders. Looking for his 8th RBI of the summer.
Now batting, number 6, Caleb Sanders.
Again, coming to the CRS-CBL from Dayton, who fell to George Washington in the A-10 tourney. As the first pitch is a curveball in there for a strike. Now Sanders last summer with the Muskegon Clippers batted just 6 of 70, but did have 1 home run to go along with 6 RBIs. As Villar will send Fluharty back to first on a pickoff attempt. I will say I did see the 1 home run that he did hit, and it was really funny because last summer the Clippers were playing the Michigan Monarchs. It was one of the leagues in the Great Lakes as Sanders pulls back a bunt for a ball. The field that the Monarchs played at was at Cleary University, which is a small private institution in Michigan. Their baseball field is unique in 2 ways. One, it's built like the old Polo Grounds, one of the most famous ballparks that has ever had the pleasure of hosting a Major League Baseball team. As the 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. The other unique part about it, besides the fact that center field, it isn't 480 plus feet away like it was at the Polo Grounds, but it's built similarly where the outfield dimensions are unique. They also have a giant water tower that is right in the batter's eye in center field as Villar tries to get Fluharty at first. Now he's in a pickle, and now he's out.
Excellent play from the first baseman, Gonzalez, and Jordan Croslin on second. Newman stepping in as that shortstop. Excellent communication between the 3 of them to be able to make that play and get one of the runners off the corner. Braves left with only 1 runner on base now, 2 outs on the board.
So now Villar just 1 strike away from ending the inning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one swung on and missed for strike 3.
So Villar sends them down swinging to give them their first scoreless inning.
Keeps the game at 4-0. We'll be right back with the bottom of the second here on Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network as we're set to kick off the bottom of the second inning with
It's number 26, Davin Whitaker. In his 23 at-bats, he's gotten off 3 runs,
There's
2
a-
doubles.
line shot but foul. Boy, he crushed that one.
Currently has 3 base hits. He's a rising sophomore, East Carolina. And as we've mentioned, often emulates his favorite player, Cody Bellinger.
Almost emulating his MVP season from a few years ago where Bellinger hit a lot of home runs. Whitaker, unfortunately, just early on the first pitch as he'll work the count to 2-1. Stepped up in a pinch hit role yesterday against the Grays. Now back in a starting position as there's a chopper to the shortstop Labrusciano. He'll get that one over to first for out number 1.
Now stepping up, it's number 20, Matt Wesley. In Wesley's 18 at-bats, he's gotten off 4 runs, 1 homer, 5 hits, and 3 base hits. Currently batting at .278 average.
Here comes the first pitch to Wesley. That's inside for a ball. Wesley actually played for the Braves last summer as the 1-0 pitch is fouled off for a strike. Didn't see too much action, but on the pace he is at, probably going to play a lot more baseball than he did last summer with Metro SoCo as the 1-1 pitch is an off-speed in there for a strike.
Didn't see a lot of action in his freshman year at Virginia Tech either, but we've seen a lot of Wesley this summer, and for good reason. I mean, getting off one of the few home runs we've seen so far this summer and getting 4 runs and 3 base hits. He's one of the stronger arms in this Big Train squad.
The 1-2 offering to Wesley as there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So the 5-hitter down on strikes. And with 1 out and no one on, that'll bring up Christopher Diaz, who was the lone source of offense yesterday against the Grays. A solo homer that brought the score to 2-1. Unfortunately, that score held par for the Big Train. Looking to generate a little more than that today as he'll foul the first one into the Braves dugout.
As our lovely sideline reporter Kaylee mentioned during our pregame show, Chris Diaz has been very vocal in the dugout, so It'll be interesting to see like if he can capitalize
0-1's in there for strike 2.
at the plate and really generate some positive momentum for the big train like he did yesterday, getting off the solo run that we saw last night against the Grays.
It was a no-doubter as the 0-2 pitch is skied into center field. Flew hard, he's under it, and he's got it for out number 3. So the big train go down in order once again. They trail 4-0 as we're set to head into the top of the third. You're listening to Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network here at Shirley Povich Field, where the Bethesda Big Train trail the Metro SoCo Braves 4-0 as we head into the top of the third. We're joined by our lovely sideline reporter, Kaylee Tallman, once again. Kaylee, a few early runs from the Braves. What's the vibe down there in the dugout right now?
They want to win this game. I'll say that. I think they are motivated to win this game. I sort of talked about that a bit at the beginning, the win mentality of this team. And they got down early, but I don't think that means they're out. We're 2 innings in this game.
I mean, as we saw earlier this week when they were able to come back with an 8 spot in the bottom of the 8th, it isn't over until it's over, and this is a team that can really bounce back. They've seen a lot of adversity early on this season, but that doesn't seem to discourage the squad. As you mentioned, they all seem to have a winning mentality.
Yeah, and it's funny, it's calm. Despite being down, it's calm, and I think that's the best thing for this team.
That's definitely what you want to see when you are facing a 4-run hole, is calmness, not panicking, especially from your pitcher on the mound. You want them to be calm and to be really thinking through their pitches and to be a leader.
Jake just needs to find his groove here.
Here comes that 1-2 pitch outside for ball 2.
I mean, as we mentioned, this is only his second time taking the mound for the big train.
Yes, absolutely. It takes some time to sort of feel out the hitters and the catcher as well. You have to remember these pitchers and catchers don't typically play together, which is obviously a learning curve.
And that couldn't be more true for the current pitcher and catcher, as Villar, a California native, pitching to an East Coaster, as Halligan will foul that one off to stay alive. But when we talk about resiliency, when we talk about coming back, that's basically been Villar's career path. He's a smaller guy playing a position that's often played by guys a lot bigger than him, but he was telling us at Media Day how he's overcome that, as Halligan will stay alive with another foul ball.
That's right. He mentioned that he can't really get past the batters with speed, so he has to find other creative solutions to get the advantage on the hitter.
That's why he said he's looked up to a guy like Tim Lincecum, who found so much success despite being of a smaller stature, as Halligan will work a walk.
I think walks is where the big train will get in trouble here, because the more people on base, obviously, the more room there is for error and the more that error is going to cost. We've seen a couple times where errors in the infield have led to extra bases that then lead to runs, which digs them into a deeper hole.
I mean, we saw Villar successfully pick someone off at first base. We'll see if he decides to pay the batter on first attention today.
1-0 pitch, a check swing, as the first up base umpire rules that Parker Edwards went around. That'll bring the count to 1-1.
You mentioned that kind of situation earlier where the SoCo Braves player got out at first. We've seen that a couple times.
As there's a foul ball, bringing the count to 1-2.
Players getting caught between first and second base. Jaden Bastion especially has had that happen a couple times. But it's interesting, kind of not knowing whether to go or stay.
A difficult on-your-feet decision, quite literally.
As Villar attempts another pickoff, nearly got him again.
That was beautiful. I mean, he didn't even, from where we're sitting, it didn't seem like he even looked at first base. Really got him off guard there.
And it shows the confidence in Emilio there at first base, too, to make that play, because obviously an error there would lead to second, which then puts the runner in scoring position.
Here comes the 1-2. There's a shot in the left field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it's not fair. But boy, Edwards tattooed that one in the left field. Unfortunately, just couldn't stay inside the foul pole. And so he'll go back to the plate, still down 1-2. But we've seen a couple of those. We saw one from Whitaker.
That ball was bombed by Whitaker earlier in the game over to right field, but a foul ball.
Another 1-2 pitch. There's a high pop fly in the left. Diaz is under it, and he's got it for the out. So Villar just a few feet away from giving up his second homer, but disaster has been averted as Edwards is set down on a flyout. As that'll bring up the guy who actually did hit a homer in his last at-bat, Jack Pokarak.
And you got to be thinking as Villar to be as calm as possible in this situation, because obviously the batter got the best of you in the last outing he had. So kind of managing that.
As there's another
stress.
pickoff attempt from Villar at first. When we were talking to Jack Robinson yesterday, he was talking as a right-handed pitcher how difficult it is to try and pick off a runner at first because he has to turn around 180 degrees
yep.
and shorten his throw, whereas Villar doesn't have to do a whole lot.
I was talking with some of the coaches earlier kind of about the dynamic as a left-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter against right-handed pitcher, and how hard that can be to read sometimes versus having that opposite dynamic.
The 1-0 pitch popped up into foul territory and out of play as that'll bounce off the Davis family pavilion.
We got a lot of kids here today for this morning game.
Well, this is the crowd we've tried to cater to with these 10 o'clock games.
That's right. That's why we do this. We have our first 10 a.m. game today, and our second one is coming June 30th. So if you do have some younger kids in your family and you can make it out to Shirley Povich Field, that's the time to do so. Give them the opportunity to stay through the entire game, which they unfortunately don't get to do when it does start at 7 p.m. and often extends well past 10 p.m.
It's funny, the 10 a.m. scheduling, I believe, started as kind of an accident, and it's turned into this great opportunity for parents to bring their younger kids to these games.
As Villar will send Halligan back to first base again.
Another pickoff attempt.
The Northern California native looking like Tim Hardaway Jr. for the Run TMC Warriors back in the day with those sweet no-look throws, as there's another foul ball from Jack Pokarak.
I think that no-look throw is that calmness you were talking about. I mean, seeing a lot of calmness from him on the mound.
The 1-2. Line to Crosland at second. Bobbles, picks it up, gets the force at second. But Pokarak is safe at first. So good on Crosland to recover the ground ball to at least get the out at second. And with two gone and a runner on first, that'll bring up the catcher, Jaden Carter.
I think the big thing for Crosland is just confidence. He is an exceptional player when he is at his best. He made a great play on that pickoff at first base earlier in the game, and it's just settling down and relaxing in that spot.
As the first pitch to Carter's outside for a ball. As we've said multiple times, showed a lot of promise at Maryland last season and just his first year with the Terps. Looking to build on that this summer as there's a fly ball out of play. well over the bleachers and left.
And you have to remember, Crosland is still very young. He's only a rising sophomore at Maryland, and he has a lot of responsibility already. I mean, being a starting player throughout most of the games this season, that's a lot of responsibility for such a young guy, and he holds it well.
I will say something else about Crosland is he is just a nice human being. Always says thank you, always says hello. All the guys are nice human beings, but especially Crosland.
He does stand out as especially polite and kind.
His parents are typically here at the games too. He was with his grandma when he hit. I don't remember what his stats exactly were from one of those first games, but he had a great game. His whole family was here to watch him. And there was someone earlier in the game today as he was going up to hit saying, "Go Jay Cross!"
Aww.
Clearly one of his family members too.
A lot of local love for many players on the team who go to college or grew up in the DMV. Crosland being one of them. As the 2-2 pitch is inside for ball number 3. Crosland growing up in Suffolk, Virginia, a highly touted high school recruit, not having to travel very far to play his collegiate ball.
It's really nice to see the family members travel, even to away games. We had some family members at yesterday's game as well.
That's right, Mr. and Mrs. Wimpelberg. We got a chance to talk with them when they attended the Aces game, and they said that the grandmother way out in Florida has been watching our broadcast, so we love to hear that. We love to have the support of the families of our Big Train players.
The full count pitch, fouled off.
We've had a lot of battles at the plate so far this season.
We've mentioned a lot here on the broadcast how good the defense has been by the batters, not just with the Big Train, but throughout. Now we've seen all the teams in this league. The Braves, the only team the Big Train haven't played yet. But the 2-strike defense has been awfully impressive. Another full count offering. Inside for ball 4. So a good eye from Carter puts 2 aboard once again for the Braves. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Jaden Cholera.
I think the most important thing for Villar here is making it as easy on himself as possible, limiting that pitch number to as low as he can, despite not getting the strikeout there.
The first offering to Cholera is an off speed in there for a strike.
Kaylee, you mentioned early consistency. I think that's going to be a huge factor going in further to the season. So the Braves are the last team that the Big Train hasn't played against yet. So this will be, going into next week, they will be playing against teams they've seen before again and again. How do you think that'll contribute to building that consistency within the team and within the lineups?
It's hard because there are two topics of consistency here, right? There's the topic of consistency within the Big Train itself, and then as well with the teams they're playing.
As the 1-1 pitch is in there for a strike.
And so as the team starts to gel, I think then Sal can implement different strategies against these opponents. But obviously that doesn't happen until you face them the first time. So it's interesting to see how manager Sal Colangelo will approach these teams differently based on their strengths.
As that off speed did not get Cholera swinging.
The one thing Sal always emphasizes is he wants pitchers to throw strikes and he wants hitters to be aggressive. So I think that's something that we will see consistently throughout the season, no matter the opponent for the Big Train.
And of course, the Big Train on Monday will have the chance to see the Gaithersburg Giants again.
2-2 pitch is fouled off out of play. That will be a road game for the Big Train, playing their first game in Gaithersburg for the 2024 season. But first is trying to get past Metro SoCo.
The sun's starting to come out.
It was very cool to start off the morning and a lot of shade. Now that sun is starting to come out and starting to beat down on the field.
Sun always brings energy, doesn't it? It's so funny how the mood shifts, kind of going from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. when it's cooler and more relaxed this morning to now sunny, a lot more energy here.
Another 3-2 pitch. Off speeds outside for a ball. So with 2 outs and the bases fully loaded, that'll bring up the third baseman, Dylan Can. One of the more dangerous 8-hitters you'll find in the CRS CBL, as Constable will go out to talk to Villar quickly. Now this is a situation that the Big Train have struggled with so far this season. Finishing the job with not only runners on base, but 2 strikes as well.
We've seen them do it before, and hopefully we'll see them do it again, leaving runners stranded for the other team, as they already have 2 outs on the board.
And Lopez has so much confidence in his pitchers, and I think that's clear from this conversation here. My guess, I have no idea, but my guess is he's going out there and saying, just pitch your game, stay confident, don't get caught up by what's happening behind you, focus on what's in front of you.
Mizzou softball head coach Larissa Anderson talks about that a lot. Sometimes her mound visits will be 7 seconds long. She's just trying to, at least according to her, break up momentum, trying to reinstill confidence in her pitcher no matter the situation. And oftentimes it works. Usually they come out feeling more confident. That allows them to pitch better. Let's see if Villar can emulate that same ideal, as the first pitch to Can's fouled off for a strike.
It's a good start.
Can building on a 2023 season that just saw him go just 11 of 73 for NJIT. Collecting 23 hits this past season, as he'll foul another one off for strike 2. Again, this would be a huge out should Villar make it, as he would leave runs 5, 6, and 7 stranded and prevent his team from trying to work out of an even bigger deficit. Here comes the 0-2. Strike 3 swinging. So Villar does leave him loaded and leaves the score at 4-0 in favor of the Braves. Kaylee, thank you for joining us once again. We'll see you in a few innings.
Thanks for having me.
As we're set to kick off the bottom of the third after this commercial break. You're listening to Big Train Baseball Network. welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park, where the Big Train still trail 4-0 as we're set to kick off the bottom of the third inning. Villar getting Dylan Can swinging to leave the bases loaded for the Braves, as the leadoff hitter for the Big Train, Josh Skoronsky, swings and misses at the first offering.
As Kaylee mentioned, Josh Skoronsky has his grandparents' words tattooed on his arm. A lot of family love for Skoronsky. Speaking of his family, his father, Chris Skoronsky, was a Division III All-American catcher at York College in Pennsylvania.
More prestigious baseball family lineage as Skoronsky takes the 0-2 pitch inside for a ball. So his Kentucky Wildcats are set to compete in Super Regionals this weekend, taking on Oregon State later today. As the 1-2 pitch is outside for a ball. Again, Kentucky surprising a lot of people this season. We're expected to finish in the middle part of the SEC. Ended up getting the number 2 overall seed in the country, as Skoronsky lines this one right to the first baseman Pokarak.
A big fan of that right field. We've seen him send home runs over that right field fence.
As that'll bring up the shortstop Carter Newman. Manned the hot corner yesterday against the Grays, getting the bump to shortstop today. As the first pitch to Newman's in there for a strike.
That's right. In the past, we've seen him take over the third baseman spot. Today, switching things up, stepping over to shortstop.
As the 0-1's outside for a ball. Hitting just 3 of 14 so far this season with a pair of RBIs. As there's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Here comes the 1-2. In there for strike 3. So Newman sent down looking. Thomas working efficiently here in the bottom of the third, as Cole Constable will step up to the plate as the 9-hitter.
As we've mentioned before in the broadcast, Cole Constable and Luca Perriello switching off in that catcher role. Today is Cole Constable's day to shine.
As he'll take the first pitch outside for a ball. Again, Edwards, strong for Houston Christian last season. Just a 5.33 ERA in 50 2/3. As that pitch is upstairs for ball number 2. Here comes a 2-0. Swing and a miss for strike 1. The 2-1 offering. And there for a strike. So back-to-back off-speed pitches for Thomas. Gets him back into the count. Now just 1 strike away from another 1-2-3 inning. And there it is. As Constable has some words for the home plate umpire. Didn't agree with that one. But nonetheless, the Braves on the back of Parker Thomas still lead 4-0. Top of the 4th coming right up here on Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where the home team trails 4-0 as we head into the top of the fourth inning. The Big Train have a new pitcher on the mound. Phoebe, it's going to look like a battle of Parkers between the Braves and the Big Train, as Parker Thomas will be taking the bump in relief for Jake Villar.
That's right. It's number 37, Parker Thomas. We've seen him pitch only sparingly for the Big Train so far this summer. Now, Big Train getting themselves in a 4-0 hole early on, but they've done well to battle back defensively in the past couple of innings.
As the first pitch to A.J. Labrisciano's in there for a strike.
As the Braves put up all 4 of their runs in that first inning, they've now gone scoreless for the past 2. We'll see if the Big Train can maintain that defensive prowess in the top of this fourth inning to hold the Braves at just 4.
As that pitch is upstairs for ball 2. Again, Thomas, a diverse arsenal of pitches, has a fastball that tops around 93 miles an hour. Well, there's an off-speed pitch. Looked like a changeup for strike 2. That one's sent in at around 84 miles an hour on average. Also sports a sinker that tops out in the low 90s. As that pitch is skied. Newman fighting off the sun, and he'll win the battle for a second time for out number 1.
So as we mentioned, Newman normally taking the third base position, now stepping in at shortstop today, and he's been doing phenomenally, getting under those balls even as he's battling the sun in his eyes.
As that'll bring up the center fielder, Billy Fluharty.
The top of the lineup.
First pitch to Fluharty. Looks like a slider inside for a ball.
As we mentioned, Fluharty currently batting at a 353 average as he is hit by that pitch square in the back. He'll head over to first base.
So Fluharty wearing one off the back. That'll bring up Caleb Sanders.
The East Point, Michigan native.
Made just a few plate appearances for Dayton this past season. As the first pitch to Sanders is inside for a ball. Again, watching his lone home run from last summer, I could not get over the fact that a water tower was just staring the batter down. Looked like someone might make an MLB The Show, as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. At most ballparks, you'll see something like what we have here at Shirley Povich. Tall trees, might see some bleachers, but I personally have never seen a water tower.
This Constable makes the throw over to Crosland over at second base. Doesn't come in time as Fluharty able to make it over to second.
Again, Luca Perriello, who's making the start yesterday, gunned a runner down at second. He's done that a couple of times so far this summer.
As we'll see a mound visit over to Thomas from the catcher, Constable.
Constable still searching for, I believe, his first caught stealing of the summer. As Thomas in a 1-2 count looking to send Sanders off. Again, this is the gauntlet of the Braves lineup coming up as catcher Halligan waits on deck. Here comes the 1-2. That one bounces in the dirt. Good block by Constable. As if that one got away, Fluharty might have made it to third.
Again, as we mentioned, Big Train getting in a 4-0 hole early on, but the defense has really stepped up in these last couple of innings to hold the Braves at just 4 runs and give themselves a fighting chance to battle back in the score.
2-2 pitch is outside. Another good glove by Constable to not let that one get by him. So the count runs full on Sanders. Again, another good job of battling back. The 3-2 pitch. Skied into foul territory. Gonzalez ranging over, and he'll make the catch. So Sanders is sent down on a flyout. That'll bring up the right fielder catcher Halligan.
Now batting number 20, Catherine Allen.
Halligan, a native from Sugar Land, Texas, recently transferred to Houston Christian University from McLennan. In high school, he recorded a .400 batting average, currently batting .286.
As Halligan will take the first pitch outside for a ball. Houston Christian has made a few NCAA tournaments, but not since when they were still called Houston Baptist. As Halligan swings and misses there for a strike.
I actually saw on the Cal Ripken site they're still referring to them as Houston Baptist.
They are now Houston Christian University. As that one's in the dirt for a ball. So Thomas looking to keep the score at 4-0. Here were 2 outs on a runner in scoring position. The 2-1 pitch. Good frame by Constable, but not enough to get the home plate umpire thinking it was a strike. So the count will move to 3-1. And on deck is the other Parker pitcher, the Parker Edwards.
Number 43 for the Braves.
3-1 pitch is chopped down the third base line, but foul. So a swinging bunt does not stay fair. Although I'm pretty sure Halligan would not have minded if it did, because I'm unsure if Whitaker would have caught that one based on how slowly the ball was moving down the third base line.
Yeah, it was very shallowly made down the third base line. Would have been difficult for him to speed on over and make the tag over at third. So catcher Halligan having to return to the plate, now sitting at a full count.
As he fouls off the 3-2 pitch to stay alive. Metro SoCo has done a good job of, especially in full count scenarios, remaining disciplined and not getting desperate. The 3-2. There's a ground ball fielded by Whitaker. On to first and too high. Gonzalez can't come up with that one, as the throw from Whitaker was off the mark, and the Braves take a 5-0 lead. So that'll go down in the scorebook as an E5. We were just talking about how solid the defense has been thus far for the Big Train. But unfortunately,
A slip up there will cost them another run, and they're now in a deeper hole.
so that'll bring up the designated hitter, also the starting pitcher, Parker Edwards.
So at this point in the game, as we prepare to head into the bottom of the fourth, is when the bats will really
First
need
pitch
to come
to
alive.
Edwards is a shot out into center field, but Bastion will glove that one just shy of the warning track for out number 3. But the error by Whitaker allows run number 5 to cross for the Braves. They lead 5-0 as we head into the bottom of the fourth here on Big Train Baseball Network.
By the third base grandstand.
Meet me in the corner, low, boogie down, mix up, boogie down, fix up. fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down. The juice in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where Bethesda trails 5-0. Here as we're set to start the bottom of the fourth inning with the top of the lineup. It'll be Jordan Crosland fouling the first pitch off for a strike. Bethesda still searching for its first hit of the ball game.
Parker Edwards just at the plate now, back on the mound. Two-way player for the Braves. Doing well on both ends.
As the Big Train have a solid bat at the plate. If there's anyone trying to catalyze some offense, Jordan Crosland's a pretty good candidate to do so.
And that's exactly what the Big Train needs right now. As we mentioned, the defense has been strong in the past couple of innings, but what really needs to happen for the Big Train is those bats need to get hot and stay hot if they want to get out of this now 5-run hole that they found themselves in.
As Crosland will take the 1-1 pitch for a strike. And of course, when Crosland's on the base paths, he's a nuisance for pitchers, as we saw yesterday. 1-2 pitch is fouled over our heads in the booth. Here comes the 1-2 from Edwards. Off speed, just outside for a ball.
So Crosland battling back in the count.
Edwards not wasting a ton of time between pitches. As the 2-2 pitch is fouled off by Crosland.
So he'll stay alive at the plate. Again, as we saw when the Big Train came up with their 8 spot in the bottom of the 8th to come back from a massive score deficit.
As Dylan Can will get that one over to first for out number 1. Crosland getting good wood on high heat, which is pretty difficult to do. But a good glove there by Can at third.
As I was saying, as we saw when the Big Train put up the 8 spot in the bottom of the 8th, once they start to get some positive momentum going and getting the bats hot, they tend to stay hot. So that's really what they need to see here.
And as Bastian fouls the first pitch off for a strike again, tied for the team lead in hits so far this season with 6. The 0-1 offering in there for strike 2. So Edwards doing a good job of getting ahead in the count. Let's see if Bastian can battle back from an 0-2 hole. That one almost hit him, as the count will move to 1-2.
That one landing in the dirt there.
Again, Bastian has been one of Big Train's best players both at the plate and in the field. As the 2-2 pitch is fouled off once again. Bastion also leading the big train in plate appearances. 29 of them heading into this game. As a 2-2 pitch is flat out into right. Back goes Halligan, and that one will land foul.
Landing in the Braves bullpen there.
So now a handful of almost homers from both teams. Almost had our first Bastion bash of the summer. But he'll stay
Some
alive.
great alliteration there.
Thank you, I appreciate it. As the 2-2 pitch is inside for ball 3.
So that'll bring the count full.
And on deck is Emilio Gonzalez. The full count offering. Fouled off. As it looked like Bastion hesitated about halfway through his swing, but was able to make at least some contact in order to stay alive. Normally at that part of the swing, you have your mind made up on whether you want to swing. Luckily, Bastion making enough contact to stay alive. And that proves beneficial as Bastion will take ball 4 for a walk.
So now a runner on base as number 45 Emilio Gonzalez steps up to the plate. Again, as we mentioned, one of the strongest arms in this big train squad. Batting at .375 average.
First pitch to Gonzalez, inside for a ball. Again, almost had his Kirk Gibson moment, or at least the opportunity for a Kirk Gibson moment last game. And I will say, if he hit a home run, that would have been the cherry on top if he did 2 fist pumps rounding second as Bastion takes off. And Gonzalez sends that one deep into right field, but foul once again.
So in the previous innings, we've seen Edwards on the mound get rid of the first 3 batters he's faced. This is the first time we haven't seen him do that.
Now, we recently saw the U.S. cricket team upset Pakistan a couple of days ago. If we played on a cricket field that was 360 degrees, there'd be a lot of 6s for the big train. As a pickoff attempt by Edwards is unsuccessful. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Again, Gonzalez, as we saw a moment ago, a powerful two-handed swinger. And again, this is with a wood bat. 1-2 pitch is high for ball 2.
That's right, as you mentioned, the Cal Ripken League, unique in having some wood bats for summer baseball. Don't see that a lot, especially in the modern college baseball world.
As a 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Gonzalez, just a few feet away from a home run, instead is set down swinging. That'll bring up Davin Whitaker with 2 outs and a runner on first.
As I mentioned, this is the first time this morning that we've seen Edwards not knock down the first 3 batters that he's faced. So we'll see if that disrupts his momentum enough to give the big train an opportunity to come back from this 5-run hole that they found themselves in.
Facing a big bat in Whitaker.
That's right. Whitaker currently batting at a .217 average. He's gotten off 2 doubles so far this summer.
As Whitaker will work a 2-0 count. Looking to generate some 2-out offense. Bastion takes off. There's a shot into right field. Back goes Halligan at the wall. It is gone. So a big fly for Davin Whitaker. A 2-run shot cuts the lead to 3. His first of the summer.
first home run of the summer and generating some much-needed positive momentum for this Big Train squad. We'll see if they can really capitalize on this momentum, already cutting into the lead by 2. We'll see if they can continue and get this train chugging along to come back and take the lead.
The first real jolt of energy here in Shirley Povich Field, as Matthew Wesley will step up to the plate. He'll take the first pitch and ground it to Labrisciano, who will fire it on to first for out number 3. But the first sign of life here on offense for the Big Train, a 2-run shot from Davin Whitaker, cuts the Braves' lead to 3. We'll be right back with the start of the top of the 5th here on Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, fix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. We're live here at Shirley Povich Field, where the Big Train have cut SoCo's lead to 5-2 on the back of a 2-run home run by Davin Whitaker. And looking to keep that run deficit at 3 is a new pitcher making his first appearance of the summer. It's UCF's Joey Wimpelberg.
That's right, number 14, Joey Wimpelberg, a rising sophomore at Central Florida. We had the chance to meet his parents at the Alexandria Aces game. We saw them again on the road at the DC Grays game. Shout out to Joey's grandmother, who said that she listens to the broadcast. We appreciate your support. And we're glad that we can bring you coverage all the way down in Florida. Wimpelberg, rising sophomore at Central Florida, pitched sparingly his freshman season, only getting a third of an inning of work. But he's played club ball for the Scorpions for the past 6 years.
Here comes the 0-1 to Pokerak. That's upstairs for a ball. That third of an inning came against Kansas on March 22nd. And UCF part of a new look Big 12. As the 1-1 is high for ball 2. Again, the Big 12 getting more new members this season, as collegiate athletics, especially in football and basketball will look closer to a power 4 as the count goes to 3-1. Now, we don't have a ton of players from the Pac-12 in this league.
No, a lot of them hailing from the ACC.
3-1 is gloved by Wimpelberg. How's that for a first impression, as he'll get the out at first?
Yeah, as we mentioned, it is his first appearance this summer, as he only arrived here at Bethesda earlier this week. So getting his first start today, and what a start, as you mentioned.
Those comebackers are oftentimes pretty scary. But Wimpelberg able to react fast enough, as he'll face the catcher Jaden Carter.
The Dumfries, Virginia native, who plays his college ball over at Longwood University.
As the first pitch to Carter. Nasty off speed for a strike. And Longwood, located near Newport News, Virginia, right on the border of North Carolina. As the 0-1 pitch is high and inside for a ball. Carter will one day look to lead Longwood back to the big dance. They actually haven't been to it since the program moved up to the Division I level in 2005. As Carter will take strike 2 looking. Here comes the 1-2. Looks like another slider, but outside for a ball. It appears that Wimpelberg and Jordan Capuano from UNC Wilmington both possess pretty nasty off-speed pitches. Just so much break in so little time. Here comes the 2-2. That was a fastball fouled off by Carter.
You brought up Capuano, who on Media Day was talking to us about how he wants to include a changeup into his pitching style, and he has a pretty interesting grip on that, which we're hoping to hear more about if we get the chance to have him up here on Monday.
As Crossland fields that grounder, it gets it on to Gonzalez for out number 2. As that'll bring up the second baseman, Jaden Cholera.
So Wimpelberg, his first time on the mound for the Bethesda Big Train, getting rid of the first 2 batters he faces. We'll see if he can seal the deal here with number 32, Jaden Cholera.
Again, plays his baseball in Nichols State, who captured their second consecutive Southland championship this year, as he'll take the first pitch for a ball. They were eliminated by Tulane in the Corvallis Regional. A regional that was ultimately won by Oregon State, who, as I said earlier, will be taking on Kentucky later today in the Lexington Super Regional. Here comes the 1-0. In there for a strike. Oregon State looking to get back to the mountaintop of college baseball for the first time since 2018, when they knocked off Arkansas in an instant classic. As the 1-1 pitch is skied into left field, Whitaker ranging over, but that one will land out of play. As Wimpelberg just a strike away from an efficient 1-2-3 inning.
As we mentioned, his parents were at the past couple of games. I believe they said they were going to stick around for Sunday. Hopefully they got the chance to see Joey Wimpelberg take the mound for the first time this season.
As the 1-2 pitch is high and outside for a ball. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So an efficient 1-2-3 inning for Joey Wimpelberg. A pretty good start to the summer, as the Big Train remain behind 5-2. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Just let go. We're spinning with our eyes
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park as we're set to start the bottom of the 5th inning. We've got a new pitcher on the bump. For the Metro SoCo Braves, it is Tyler Fetterman.
That's right, number 23, Tyler Fetterman, a left-handed pitcher and rising sophomore at East Tennessee State University. He hails from Aldie, Virginia, where he attended Independence High School. He currently holds the home run record for Independence and was a District Player of the Year.
As his first offering to Christopher Diaz is inside for a ball. Again, Fetterman attending college at East Tennessee State, the home of Kenny Chesney, as the 1-0's outside for a ball. Also, famed college football head coach Steve Spurrier grew up in Johnson City, which rests right near the borders of Virginia and North Carolina, as the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. If you are familiar with the song Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker, he mentions it later in the song as the 2-1 pitch is chopped to the second baseman Cholera. He'll get it on to first for out number 3. So a quick at-bat.
Out number 1. You meant strike 3.
No, he didn't even get to strike 3.
Yeah.
That was just out number 1. I did not drink my coffee this morning because I'm not a coffee drinker, but
Would you like some sugar-free Red Bull?
I am so fine. I am A-okay. I am not a Red Bull drinker either. Although perhaps I should have had more than a few Trader Joe's cinnamon graham crackers, as the first pitch to Josh Skoronsky is high and outside for a ball.
So bottom of the 4th inning, we saw number 26, Davin Whitaker, hit his first home run of the summer and finally get the bats alive here for the Big Train. They were able to cut in to their 5-run deficit, making it now 2-5. We'll see if the bats have stayed alive and if they can continue to cut into this score deficit.
As Skoronsky works a 3-0 count. Here comes the 3-0. Skoronsky will look at that one for a strike. Also should mention about Fetterman. Threw 2 no-hitters and registered an ERA of just .84 in his senior year of high school.
As Skoronsky will walk on out to first.
Looking to emulate that prowess today. Now with a runner on first and 1 out, it'll bring up Carter Newman. Again, playing shortstop tonight.
Now hitting number 38, Carter Newman.
So seeing a little more positive traction for the Big Train. 1 runner on base. Already cut into the score deficit a little bit. Still some more work to do at the plate.
Now Fetterman pitching sparingly for the Buccaneers this past season. Just 10 2/3 allowed, 8 earned. As Newman will pop that one foul. The 1-1 offering. Newman lines this one into right center. That'll drop for a base hit. Skoronsky rounds second. He'll walk into third. Newman will slide into second safely. And it's a double for the Virginia Tech Hokie.
Now hitting number 17, Cole Constable.
So the first extra base hit of the day, other than Whitaker's big fly.
So that's Newman's second double of the summer.
And that'll bring up the tying run in Cole Constable. 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out. So a great time for the Big Train to
Score a couple more, 3 and 4,
Not
sitting
ju-
in scoring position.
not just that, but get the bats hot when they need it the most, as the first pitch to Constable, a swing and a miss. As it sounded like we had the first crowd-to-crowd chant of the summer. Always good to hear. As the 0-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. Now I know many schools have chants that start with one section, have to be rebounded by another section. Mizzou certainly does with an MIZ, then a ZOU. As the 0-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. Constable doing a good job of checking his swing. Georgetown, for example, has Hoya Saxa. Does Virginia Tech have anything similar?
Not one that goes across the sections. We have Hokies, Hokies.
As the 1-2 is outside for a ball. Similar to Miami's CANES Canes chant. I wonder who started it first.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look into the history of that one.
2-2 pitch is lined foul.
Sailing over the stands towards the kid zone.
The 2-2. Constable looks at ball 3.
So the count now at full for Constable.
The 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3.
So that'll send Constable down swinging, but that'll bring up our top of the lineup, number 1, Jordan Crosland.
A great opportunity for him to get into a rhythm. Again, runs number 3 and 4 in scoring position. As the first pitch to Crosland's in there for a strike.
Again, Crosland, one of the stronger arms here in the Big Train squad. He also accounts for one of the few home runs we've seen this season.
0-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2. So Fetterman's done a good job of locating his pitches just on the border away from righties as he got Constable swinging last at bat. Let's see if he can do the same against Crosland and leave 2 runners in scoring position stranded. That one's in the dirt for ball 1. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Fetterman leaves 2 stranded in scoring position as his Metro SoCo Braves still lead 5-2. We'll be right back here from Big Train Baseball Network.
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network as the Braves lead 5-2.
Still on the mound for the Big Train is Joey Wimpelberg. Had a quick 1-2-3 in his last inning. We'll see if he can replicate that success here in the top of the 6th.
As the first pitch to Dylan Can is low and outside for a ball.
Can again, strong arm for the Braves, batting .400. In his 25 at-bats, he's knocked off 10 hits and 2 doubles.
1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. So Wimpelberg showing off the fastball to go along with the slider that worked so well for him in the last half inning. As the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. So a couple of heaters getting Dylan Can swinging and missing. As Can cannot catch up to the heater, and he'll be set down swinging, bringing up the shortstop A.J. Labrisciano.
Very nice play on words there. I see what you did there.
I appreciate that. I do think about that a lot. I don't want to stretch it. Sometimes it doesn't land if you try too hard. It's got to happen naturally.
That's a good point.
As the first pitch to Labrisciano's in there for a strike. And a bigger crowd as the game has gone on. Good to see the stands full once again. As the 0-1 slider's outside for a ball.
So Wimpelberg has now set down the first 4 batters he's seen this summer.
As there's a chopper to Whitaker. Scoops it, fires, and he's got him. A great glove from third by Whitaker. That's not an easy play to scoop it right off the bounce, but he did just that. And now with 2 outs, that'll bring up the top of the lineup for Metro SoCo, Billy Fluharty.
Again, Fluharty, the rising sophomore at Bucknell, a product of Fredericksburg, Virginia, played at Riverbend High School. During his senior year there, he received the all-district honors after hitting a .406 average with 7 home runs.
Fluharty's Bucknell Bison were eliminated by Army in the Patriot League tournament semifinals this past season. Army has now won 6 Patriot League tournament titles in a row. They also eliminated Bucknell in the Patriot Championship in 2023 and 2022. As the Bison look to get back to the tournament for the first time since 2014. As Fluharty chops that one to short, as that one will get by Newman. So that ball snuck up on him at the last second. We talked about yesterday at the turf field how those unexpected bounces don't happen because there aren't really any grooves in the turf. It's all the same terrain. Whereas here on a dirt field, stuff like that can happen. And Newman, a victim of the dirt field here at Shirley Povich.
That is one of the unfortunate things you run into here with a dirt field at Shirley Povich Field. And Newman plays on turf over at Virginia Tech. So this is definitely a very new scenario for him, playing on this dirt field. And you're going to see some of those weird hops in the dirt that you don't normally on turf.
As the first pitch to Sanders is high for a ball. As Wimpelberg almost picks off Fluharty at first.
He'll now turn his attention back over to Sanders. So Wimpelberg, a right-handed pitcher, we mentioned early on how difficult it is for right-handed pitchers to make that pickoff attempt at first, as they do have to make a full 180 with their body. Didn't have the same advantage as Villar, as a left-handed pitcher who was able to throw those no-look over to first base that we saw him do twice in the first inning.
As he'll try again, but unsuccessful. Now, whereas left-handed pitchers, we saw Villar, they can almost put their right foot down with their body facing the catcher and still try a pickoff. As Fluharty's goes for second, but that one's fouled off.
Fluharty's got some wheels on him, but unfortunately for him, he'll have to track on back over to first.
Valarin, Evan Smith, namely. The arm angle looks a little bit funky, almost like how Michael Penix Jr. throws a football. Really far away from his body, but it's legal, and Villar, Evan Smith, and other lefties in this league have capitalized on that. Fluharty goes once again as Sanders is hit. So Fluharty would have made it to second anyway, as Sanders will take his base at first. And so with 2 outs, the Braves threatening once again with multiple runners on base. And catcher Halligan, one of the last batters the Big Train would probably want to face in this situation.
Posting a .260 batting average in his past season at Houston Christian. Now posting a .286 average here this summer.
The first pitch to Halligan. Chopped. Down the first base line, glove by Gonzalez, and he flips it to Wimpelberg for out number 3. So the Braves strand a pair. The Big Train remain in a 5-2 deficit. We'll have our sideline reporter Kaylee Tallman in the booth in just a moment here on Big Train Baseball Network.
In 1998.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey, hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey, hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move, boogie down. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up.
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park, where the Big Train still trail the Braves 5-2. As the first offering to Jaden Bastion will be in there for a strike. We're actually going to have Kaylee in the next half inning, so stay tuned for that.
That's right, she'll join us at the top of the first.
The 1-0 to Bastion, inside for a ball.
So we've mentioned the defense from the Big Train, very strong today to keep.
As there's a chopped grounder to Labrisciano, who gets it on to first in time for the out. So the brighter Bronk getting on his horse and getting Bastion, who nearly beat out the throw. Nevertheless, that'll bring up Emilio Gonzalez.
Now batting number 45, Emilio Gonzalez.
The Big Train still. Oh my goodness.
As Gonzalez is hit on the first offering.
Well, that'll send up number 26, Davin Whitaker, the man who got it all started. His last at bat hitting a home run to cut the Braves' lead down to 3. We'll see if he can make that magic happen here again with one runner now on base.
Giving the last baseball he saw a sweet escape over the fence in right field. As he'll show a bunt but pull back. Good decision, as that one was high and outside for a ball. Looks like the big train trying to manufacture base runners in scoring position as best they can. As Whitaker will look at that one for ball 2. Here comes the 2-0. That one chopped through the whole, base hit. Gonzalez almost setting a screen there on the first baseman poker rack.
So Whitaker once again generating some very positive momentum for the big train here, who still need to come up with 3 more runs to tie the game.
Wesley representing the tying run.
We'll see if Wesley can capitalize on this momentum.
Here's the first pitch to Wesley. Popped up, but out of play.
That one again sailing over the pavilion there.
For Bethesda, this would be a wonderful time for Wesley's second homer of the summer. As the 0-1 pitch is an off speed in there for strike 2.
As we mentioned earlier, Wesley hitting sparingly for Virginia Tech in his freshman season has been one of the more reliable members of the Big Train starting lineup.
As the 1-1 pitch is going to drop into center for a base hit. A bit of a screwball off the bat of Wesley, but nevertheless the Train have the bases loaded with just 1 out for the man who hit a home run yesterday, Christopher Diaz.
Batting at .308. He has 1 home run this season, 4 hits and 6 runs. Again, going into his sophomore season this fall, he's looking for a new home.
As he'll send the first pitch into center, that'll drop for a base hit. Gonzalez will score. And courtesy of Christopher Diaz, the Big Train cut Metro SoCo's lead to 2.
So it looks like the bats are coming alive here for the Big Train. And as we've seen earlier in the season, once the bats come alive, they tend to stay hot. We'll hope that continues here with Josh Skoronsky stepping up to the plate. Again, another player who holds one of the few home runs we've seen this season.
That one, like Whitaker's, way over the wall and right. As Skoronsky will take that pitch for a strike. Finally, you can sense some energy within the Big Train offense. A golden opportunity here as Skoronsky pops this one into shallow left field. And that ball is going to drop in foul territory. So that one tailing away from the shortstop Labrisciano. Sanders in left field didn't look like he ever really had a chance. So Skoronsky stays alive but finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Again, the base is loaded with just 1 out. Bethesda down just 2.
As you said, golden opportunity here to take back control of this game.
0-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Fetterman working the off speed once again when he needs it the most. And now has a shot to leave the bases loaded. Carter Newman likely having other ideas. Looking for his first really big hit of the summer.
Your shortstop tonight again hit sparingly for Virginia Tech.
As the first pitch is just outside for a ball.
Hit sparingly in his sophomore season at Virginia Tech. Only getting 7 at-bats. Again, been a staple of the Big Train starting lineup this summer.
As the 1-0, a big swing and a miss for a strike. The 1-1. Way to hold up by Carter Newman. That fastball from Fetterman, like Max Martzolf's. That one tails away from right-handed hitters. Good on him for not taking the bait. As the 2-1 pitch is fouled off for a strike. So it's money time now for Newman and Fetterman.
You brought up Martsoff, which if you didn't get a chance to tune into the broadcast last night, as we took on the Grays, Max Martsoff stepped on the mic for a hot minute.
As the 2-2 pitch is grounded to the third baseman, but he boots it. Everybody's going to be safe. And the Braves now lead by just one.
Whitaker running in the fourth run for the Big Train, cutting the lead down to just one. Bases still loaded for the Big Train. As your catcher, Cole Constable, steps up to the plate.
Can a little shaken up from that ground ball. As both athletic trainers will come to check on the third baseman. An unfortunate sequence of events there. Now it is a positive sign that he is standing upright. They're just going to check his upper body. Looks like they're making sure his neck is okay. Those are never injuries you want to play around with. And as they check on Can, just a reminder that the Big Train will have another game tomorrow. They'll be hitting the road to take on the Gaithersburg Giants, who currently lead the North Division in the CRS CBL. As it looks like Can will remain in the game.
After getting checked on by both athletic trainers, he seems to be A-OK and he'll remain at third base. As again, your catcher, Cole Constable, is going to take to the plate for the Big Train. Bases loaded, 2 outs on the board. Lead cut down to 1.
Tying run on third, go ahead run on second. First pitch to Constable's low and inside for a ball.
So Whitaker getting the momentum started with a home run. Seems the bats have stayed alive here at Shirley Povich.
As the second pitch is the same as the first, low and inside for ball number 2. Here comes the 2-0. Inside for ball 3. So Fetterman in danger here of walking in the tying run. The 3-0. Outside for ball 4. So Constable will take his base on 4 pitches. And the Big Train have tied it at 5.
Matthew Wesley walking in the tying run as number 1 Jordan Crosland steps up to the plate. The top of your Big Train lineup. We'll see a mound visit over to Fetterman.
And it looks like we will have a call to the bullpen, as Fetterman has allowed a 3 spot in the bottom of the 6th inning. Again, as we said, it's been a few games, but the Big Train showing that resilient spirit once again, as they've been able to stack base runners here in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Sandstorm by Darude blares over the loudspeakers here at Shirley Povich Field. That song in terms of which college in the United States it belongs to. This is the song of the University of South Carolina. As we're waiting to see who the number of the new pitcher is here for the Braves. As it looks like it's going to be number 39, Kendall Cassidy. Hailing from Burleson, Texas. Currently a member of McLennan Community College's baseball team. One of the more storied community college baseball programs in America. Looking to stop the bleeding here in the bottom of the 6th.
So Kendall Cassidy warming up at the mound. Another two-way player. He's not seen a lot of action over at McLennan Community College with only 8 games played in his freshman season. But he looks to be finished warming up at the mound as Jordan Crosland steps up to the plate. Again, your Big Train has bases fully loaded, 2 outs on the board. The go-ahead run in scoring position.
As the first offering to Crosland's low for a ball. I will say Sandstorm gets me excited. I will be going to Columbia, South Carolina later this year when they battle Mizzou in football. As the 1-0 pitch, a big swing and a miss for a strike. Was lucky to go in 2022 when the two teams faced off. Although when Sandstorm happened in the middle of that game, it wasn't very electric as Mizzou went on to beat South Carolina 23-10 that day. As the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed from Crosland. So Cassidy on the verge of getting out of this inning, keeping the score tied at 5.
So we can see a bit of a sandstorm ourselves here.
As the 1-2 pitch is chopped over the glove of Can for a base hit. As Diaz scores from third, and the Big Train take a 6-5 lead.
Can hear the stands coming alive.
As Newman will score as well on the passed ball. So Bethesda, a 5 spot here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They now lead 7-5.
Saw a bit of a collision there between Newman and the third baseman, Dylan Can. I saw him apologizing profusely before he made the decision to run one home on the passed ball.
And that stuff will happen. There will occasionally be some wreckage along the base paths, all a natural part of the game. As Jaden Bastian will take the first pitch low and inside for a ball.
I think the profuse apologies speaks to what Kaylee was speaking about earlier. We've got a very, very kind group of ball players here on the Bethesda Big Train.
Now, unless a base runner pulls an Albert Bell and intentionally runs over a fielder, I don't think we're going to have too many trifes along the base paths as that pitch is in there for a strike.
So the Big Train taking their first lead of the morning. Dropped three of their last games, but looking to stop that losing streak there.
As Bastian finds himself in a 1-2 count. One Crosland was able to battle back from and end up on first base. Let's see if Bastian can do the same. As the off speed is high and outside for ball 2. Constable nearly gunned down by Carter.
But ruled safe over at second.
As a nice heads-up play by Jaden Carter behind the backstop. Constable a pretty healthy lead off of second base. But now he'll go home with a dirty uniform.
Yep, you can see him wearing his hard work on his uniform.
Run number 8 in scoring position. 2-2 count and 2 outs. As Bastian will take the pitch high for ball 3.
You can see Emilio Gonzalez on deck, who started off this inning. Hit by the pitch to set in motion the scoring of this inning. That has earned the Big Train the lead of this game.
3-2 pitch is fouled off by Bastian. You also have to think on the full count pitch with 2 outs, as Constable and Crosland did there. Both trying to gain as much ground in case Bastian does put one in play. Another 3-2 pitch. There's a shot into deep left field. Back at the wall, it is caught just shy of the left field fence by Caleb Sanders Almost had our first Bastion Bash of the summer. But the Big Train, a 5 spot here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They lead 7-5, as we'll be right back here on the Big Train Baseball Network.
Move so fast. Here's hoping this night will last. Just let go. We're spinning with our eyes closed. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network here at Shirley Povich Field, where the Big Train have taken a 7-5 lead here in this morning contest against the Metro SoCo Braves. We're joined once again by our sideline reporter, Kaylee Tallman. Kaylee, you called it. You said it. You said this team's spirit was resilient. They had a never say die attitude, and here we are with the Big Train, who looked dead in the water early on, now ahead 7-5. What do you think's changed over these past few innings?
It's not over till it's over, right? And they are full proof of that. But I think they're feeding off of each other's success almost. I don't know if they're doing that consciously. I don't think that happens consciously, but as soon as one person gets up to the plate and has success, then the next person gets up to the plate and has success, and they're building off of each other's confidence. And I know they always talk after they come home, if they score a run or if they unfortunately strike out, something like that. There's always a conversation between in that changeover. And so I think they're just giving each other confidence in that changeover. Like, you can see the pitch, you will have success, and it all really started with that home run.
That's right, Davin Whitaker's home run. And we've talked about that time and again, generating that positive momentum. It's what's been lacking in their past 3 games, which they lost. And now we're starting to see it. We're starting to see the Big Train we've come to know and love start to come back and get that positive momentum going.
As there's a fly ball in the center, gloved by Bastion for out number 1. That was a pitch hitter, Chris Morabito, the other member of the Bucknell Bison on the Metro SoCo Braves, with a quick pinch hit at bat. And that'll set the stage for Jaden Carter.
And those quick at-bats are ideal for the Big Train in this situation to kind of get through these batters as quickly as possible and keep energy up.
Here comes the first pitch from Wimpelberg. Low for a ball. Now, Kaylee, to your point about feeding off each other's energy, I'm going to mention Mizzou again, as I will probably several more times this summer. They talk about that a lot, feeding off of each other. It is a real thing. For example, the freshman catcher slash DP, Stefania Abriscato, had talked about once after a win, the batter before her, Abby Hay, a fellow freshman hailing from Columbia, Missouri, went to high school at Rock Bridge, as the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed for a strike. Abriscato said explicitly, when Abby Hay gets a hit or gets on base, it gives her energy. It makes her play better. So it is a real thing, although we might not see it with our eyes. It exists spiritually, in a sense, as the 1-2 pitch is outside for a ball.
It is kind of the fundamentals of being a human being, right? If you're in a bad mood and you come up to someone who's smiling, you start to feel better because they're smiling. Same principle when it comes to a game like this.
As the 2-2 pitch is outside for a ball.
It takes one person to feel that confidence. It takes one person to bring that energy up, and it's contagious.
Thank you, psychologist Tallman. Getting awfully existential up here in the booth. As the 3-2 pitch is skied into right center. Ranging over is Bastion, and he's got it for out number 2. So a good fight there.
So Bastion's glove responsible for the first 2 outs in this inning.
They've been busy in the outfield today.
And that's another thing that we've mentioned previously on the broadcast is some errors in that field that have cost them some games, but seeing them come together and rectify those errors in the field, and to do that in the defense, have a strong defensive prowess, is what allowed the Big Train offense to stay alive and get the opportunity to corral their energy and come back with a 5 spot in the 6th inning.
I haven't seen any Bermuda triangles in the later couple innings here, so that's always a good sign.
1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Only just islands, which is always good, because usually that means somebody's under it to make a put out, as Bastion has for the first 2 outs of this inning. Here comes the 1-1 from Wimpelberg. That one's low for ball 2.
The sun's disappeared here for a second, hopefully cooling everyone on the field off.
For the Big Train, hopefully the bats stay hot, despite the sun hiding behind the clouds. Here comes the 2-1. That one's inside for ball 3.
And these situations are particularly important for Headspace because he's down in the count here from a pitching standpoint.
Here comes the 3-1. That one's in there for a strike. So as Timmy trumpets blare from the Shirley Povich speakers, Wimpelberg looking to channel his inner Edwin Diaz to shut down the inning. He cannot, as Jaden Carter will take his base on ball 4. That'll bring up another pinch hitter. This is going to be Zach Scott, another Dayton Flyer.
Interesting the use of pinch hitters here by the Braves because bats were swinging early for them, and then it just kind of fell off in the last couple innings.
Number 30, Zach Scott, taking to the plate. He's a rising junior at Dayton, a product of Lunenburg, Maryland, Massachusetts.
Yes, M.A., Massachusetts, you got it.
He's a product of Winkenden High School. He played varsity there for 4 years.
As he'll take the first pitch inside for a ball.
He was a conference all-star and a Telegram and Gazette home team first team member.
Pretty decorated resume.
As Wimpelberg will go for the pickoff of Carter, but unsuccessful. Scott, just 7 of 49 over his 2 seasons at Dayton.
Unfortunately, the sun hiding behind the clouds is giving us some trouble. The lighting on our cameras.
Here comes the 1-0. That one's in there for a strike.
That's what's hard about these day games. You've got the light changing every inning, it seems. This game's kind of flown by compared to some of the other games we've experienced already here in the 7th.
As Wimpelberg nearly getting Carter that time.
I think that might have to do with, as you mentioned, most of us not big fans of the morning, so maybe as starting to get later into the afternoon, making it seem as though the game is really flying by. Although we have had a couple quick at-bats.
1-1 pitch. There goes Carter, but he'll have to go back to first as Scott fouled that one off.
It's interesting when games get closer, the bullpen starts to filter over towards the dugout.
Trying to see the action.
I'd be curious to see if that starts to happen here in the 8th inning coming up.
Carter off and running again. Ball 2 is called, and Carter makes it into second safely. Although a nice effort there from Newman, ranging over from short, almost applying a Javi Baez-esque tag.
The throw, was slightly to the right there, but close.
As we mentioned, in the previous half inning, Cole Constable wearing his efforts. You can see Carter doing that as well, covered practically head to toe in dirt.
Here comes the 2-2. Inside. And I think that hit Scott. It did. So Scott will take his base on the hit by pitch.
Sending up yet another pinch hitter. It's number 3.
It's going to be Jamie Laskowski.
And here comes Lopez again to have a conversation on the mound.
So as we've mentioned, Big Train been very strong on the defensive end to hold the Braves scoreless for the past 2 innings. Might be in a little bit of danger now with 2 runners on base now.
Those quick outs at the beginning of this inning, however, are coming in handy with 2 runners on. It just takes 1 for them to get out of this situation.
Laskowski from Lake Braddock High School, which is a college commit factory. Lots of future college ball players have gone through Lake Braddock.
Laskowski, a rising freshman at William and Mary College. He actually played for the Senators last summer in 2023.
First pitch is high and outside for a ball. Now I gotta say, William Mary's got quite the tribe here in the CRS CBL.
They are certainly well represented.
DC Grays having almost 40% of their starting lineup yesterday representing William and Mary. As the 1-0 pitch is chopped to Crosland at second, and he'll get the force at second for out number 3.
So as you mentioned, Kaylee, it only takes 1 to get them out of that situation safely, and they got the 1.
So the Big Train leads 7-5. We'll hope they can keep that lead as we head into the home stretch of this morning game here at Shirley Povich Field. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
2 kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer love. Move so fast. Here's hoping this night will last. Just let go. We're spinning with our eyes closed. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. 2 kids come alive in a night rush.
Going outside for a ball. Just wanted to say thanks again for Kaylee Tallman joining us in the booth. As Gonzalez will sky that one to left. Ranging over is Sanders, and he can't get to it. That one will roll all the way to the corner. As Gonzalez will lead off the inning with a stand-up double.
So Gonzalez, the leadoff hitter at the last inning where the Big Train put up a 5 spot, the leadoff hitter again here, already generating some positive momentum, which, as Kaylee Tallman mentioned when she was up here in the booth, that's exactly what you need to see here, and that's what the Big Train's been missing these past couple of games. So it's great to see them get that positive momentum as Davin Whitaker steps up to the plate. had a home run earlier this game to set into motion the scoring for the Big Train.
First pitch to Whitaker is chopped to second. And Whitaker will be retired quickly, although Gonzalez makes it over to third. And so with one out and run number 8 just a base away, that'll bring up Matthew Westley as the rain's starting to come down ever so slightly here at Shirley Povich Field.
As we mentioned, the sun hiding behind the clouds. A lot of cloud coverage here at Shirley Povich today. Starting to bring in some rain.
As we're going to get a pitching change here for the Braves. Cassidy's day will be done.
As number 46 going to take to the mound.
We're going to wait and check on the number here.
Sorry, 48. Talon Mahalanik. Rising junior at New Jersey Institute of Technology. Hails from Elwood City, Pennsylvania. Went to Blackhawk High School. And in 2023, he pitched a scoreless inning and struck out a pair in his only appearance of the 2023 season. Made a lot more appearances in the 2024 season, pitching 29 innings, and in those 29 innings of work, allowing 41 hits, 41 runs, but striking out 23 for a 10.24 ERA.
So Mohalnick looking to keep this game at 7-5. Although the Big Train threatening early, courtesy of a leadoff double by Emilio Gonzalez.
And a grounder from Whitaker that allowed Gonzalez to make his way over to third.
Again, the Big Train will be back in action tomorrow as they'll take on the Gaithersburg Giants in Gaithersburg.
That's right, after 4 home games this week, they've now got a couple of road games ahead of them in this coming week, starting off with the Gaithersburg Giants on Monday. And again, Quentin and I will be on the call on Monday for the road game. This past road game, weren't able to get the camera up and running, so we had to call it radio style. We'll see what we can manage with Monday.
As Westley will step back into the batter's box, looking to bring Gonzalez home from third. And the first pitch is grounded. Glove by Kalura at second. Excuse me, that's actually going to be Zach Scott. As Westley is quickly retired. And with 2 outs on a runner still on third, Christopher Diaz will look to bring Gonzalez home. The first pitch to Diaz. Inside for a ball. The 1-0. Diaz with a high plop fly. And that'll be caught for out number 3. So Gonzalez is stranded at third. The Big Train still lead 7-5 at the end of 7. We'll be back for the top of the 8th quickly here on a Big Train Baseball Network.
Down.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where Bethesda leads 7-5 as we're set to start the top of the 8th inning. The Big Train have a new pitcher on the mound. It's Jack Robinson from Roanoke College.
That's right, number 28, Jack Robinson, who joined us on the mics last night at our away game against the DC Grays. I'm sure he'll be happy to be on a dirt field, as he mentioned. Not a huge fan of the turf mound. Said it can oftentimes be slippery for the pitchers, so.
And he'd be slippery for other players as well. We saw Jordan Crosland successfully steal a base until he overshot it.
Just
partially due to
sliding
the
along that turf.
slippery turf.
So Robinson, I'm sure, happy to be on a dirt mound where he can really dig in and feel comfortable and safe on that mound. The leadoff hitter for the Braves, number 27, AJ Labrusciano.
As that one's over our head here in the booth. As the rain still sprinkling down here at Shirley Povich.
But it's somewhat subsided.
Looks like a little sun rain. As the 2-2 pitch just inside for ball 3. The full count offering. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
So Robinson will retire the first batter he sees. Faced next with Billy Fluharty, the top of the Braves lineup.
Now up to bat, number 13, Billy Fluharty.
As we mentioned, one of the strongest arms in this Braves lineup today.
First offering to Fluharty. Inside for a ball. Again, the Big Train looking to stop their 3-game skid. Metro SoCo looking to improve to 5-2 on the season, as there's a big swing and a miss for strike 1. One pitch is in there for a strike. Robinson really working the off speed. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
So Robinson will retire the first 2 batters from the Braves, getting rid of a very strong arm.
And now we'll face Caleb Sanders with 2 outs and none on.
Sanders, the product of East Point, Michigan, batted sparingly for Dayton this past season, only going up to bat 3 times.
First offering to Sanders, a big swing and a miss.
So the Big Train really hoping to protect this hard-fought lead that they've earned as they near the end of this ball game.
As Sanders, who was showing bunt, got hit in the head.
Took one straight to the dome there.
Looks to be okay as Robinson understandably apologizing. So Sanders will take his base. And that'll bring up catcher Halligan.
Now hitting is number 20.
Sanders doing well to shake that one off. I think that one was more scary than hurtful, as he is protected by his blue Braves helmet.
First pitch to Halligan. Outside for a ball.
The rain is really starting to come down now here at Shirley Povich Field. Not sure if you can really see it on the camera, but as Robinson goes for the pickoff attempt at first, which he mentioned on the mic last night, he does not really enjoy doing. It's very difficult for right-handed pitchers, as they do have to make that full 180 turn. But he goes for it nonetheless.
Here comes the 1-0. Outside for ball 2.
Oh, it looks like the rain is causing our Kona ice truck to pack up here. Unfortunate. I was looking forward to getting a Kona ice.
Well, as the Beatles once said, you can't always get what you want.
Exactly. I should have been on top of that earlier.
As the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike.
It's okay. I'll catch him at the next home game.
Or you could head into downtown Bethesda. Clay Boys might be on the outside of Anthropology in downtown, as there's a shot in the right center field. Ranging over is Bastion. He dives, and he makes the incredible catch! My goodness, a web gem from Jaden Bastion in center field.
You can hear the stands here at Shirley Povich come alive as the Big Train come out of that one unscathed. Thank you for tuning in to the Big Train Baseball Network. We'll catch you here for the top of the 9th.
But man, what a grab by Bastion, sprawling in center field. We're going to be talking about that for a while. Perhaps saving a run or two. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where the Big Train maintained a 7-5 lead over the Braves. A big help from Jaden Bastion out in center field, having himself a heck of a game both at the plate and in center field. A sprawling catch to end the inning, as the pinch hitter Jackson Giacconi will lead it off for the Big Train in the bottom of the 8th.
Giacconi, another strong arm who typically in our starting lineup, he bats a .231 average. He's gotten 3 base hits, 1 double, and another run in his 13 at-bats this summer. He's a rising sophomore at Cal State Fullerton.
Here comes the 1-1. Outside for ball 2.
So Jaden Bastion with that diving catch, that's the defense prowess we've been talking about all day. That's what gets you out of those tough spots and allows your offense the opportunity to get the bats hot.
Also tested my vocal cords there. Realize I might not be able to go as high as some of the greats. Might be more fit to go down the Bob Costas Spiro Didi's lane, as Giacconi fouls that one off for strike 2. And that's A-okay. Every broadcaster is different. It's all about creating your voice. Some people are able to get way up there, like the great Gus Johnson, famous for his off-the-top rope calls. As the 3-2 pitch is chopped and gloved by Pokerak at first for out number 1.
Looks as though the rain has subsided here at Shirley Povich, but clouds still dark. A lot of cloud coverage here today.
I think I might have scared the rain away on that Bastion diving catch. As Carter Newman will step up to the plate.
He walked in the 7th run of the morning, afternoon.
It is about 12:38 p.m. Eastern Time.
I'd call that afternoon.
The 0-1 to Newman, inside for a ball. The 1-1 to Newman is high for ball 2. The 2-1 offering. Popped foul and out of play. That one bouncing off the...
Deflated moon bounce.
No, it actually went a lot further into the parking lot. Thankfully into a gap with empty parking spots. As the 2-2 pitch is outside for a ball. Good on Newman for looking off that one. That one looked like it might end up inside, but the off-speed tailing away. So the count will go full. And Newman will take his base. So a good eye by the Hokie. Puts a runner aboard with 1 out for Cole Constable.
Once again, generating some positive momentum. She'll hopefully bring some life to the bats here again. Big Train already in the lead, but have the opportunity to extend that lead even further with now 1 runner on base and only 1 out on the board.
The first pitch to Constable. In there for strike 1. The 0-1. Low and outside for a ball. Off goes Newman, swing and a miss by Constable. And Newman is gunned down at second by Carter. So a heck of a throw from Jaden Carter behind the backstop. And all of a sudden, the Braves are just a strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed. The 1-2 to Constable. In the dirt for ball 2. The 2-2 pitch. Off speed outside for a ball. Waiting on deck is Jordan Crosland.
So Constable battling back in the count. Has the opportunity to keep the Big Train alive.
The 3-2 pitch. Inside for ball 4. So Constable with back-to-back walks. That'll bring Jordan Crosland to the plate with 1 on and 2 outs.
So the Braves really hoping to get out of this inning unscathed. But the Big Train stays alive here with the top of their lineup now stepping up to the plate.
First pitch to Crosland is fouled out of play.
Can hear over the crowd mic somebody got that foul ball.
Good communication by the fan. Way to call off the other potential catchers in the area. The 0-1 in the dirt for a ball. The 1-1. Lone outside for ball 2.
On deck is Jaden Bastion, and as you mentioned, you've been waiting for a Bastion bash.
There's a high fly ball in the left field. Back goes Sanders at the wall, and it's foul.
So Carlson will have to hurry on back over to the plate. Constable retreating over to second.
Thought Crosland
Sorry,
actually might
retreating over to first.
have had a homer this time, as
So did Constable as he was nearing third base. But nonetheless, he sits at a 2-2 count.
and there's a shot into center field. Back goes Fluharty at the wall. It's off the wall. Constable rounding third. He'll head for home. And the big train take an 8-5 lead courtesy of an RBI double from Jordan Crosland.
So now number 2, Jaden Bastion coming up to the plate. You might get the opportunity to see that Bastion bash you've been waiting for.
Already made a lot of noise in the field. We're set to have Ultimate Frisbee Night later this season. That is what we like to call an Ultimate Frisbee a bid, which is what Bastion pulled off last inning.
That's right. We've been talking about that defensive prowess, and Bastion has been a huge factor in that defensive prowess. Going for the diving catch, having that never give up attitude, always going the extra mile.
As Bastion swings at the first pitch but fouls that one off. So run number 9 in scoring position with 2 outs. Here comes the 0-1. High and inside for a ball. The 1-1 pitch. Low and outside for a ball. So Milhalanak getting tagged a bit here in the bottom of the 8th. Looking to keep this game at 8-5. The 2-1. Outside for ball 3. As Emilio Gonzalez waits on deck.
Emilio Gonzalez getting hit by the pitch to get on base, which started off that 5 spot we saw that gave the big train their now commanding lead.
The 3-1 pitch. There's a fly ball in a shallow right center. A Bermuda Triangle forms, and it drops right in there. Crosland will score from second. Bastion's aboard first, and the big train now lead 9-5. Kaylee said it earlier in the game. We've mentioned it multiple times on the broadcast.
It's the Bermuda Triangle of death. That miscommunication between outfielders can really cost you the bases there, as we just saw. An unfortunate mishap in the outfield.
And so that keeps the inning alive for the big train. Emilio Gonzalez stepping up to the plate with the runner on first and 2 outs. As the first pitch is low and outside for a ball. Those kinds of hits always nightmares for the 3 defenders involved. Bastion trying to take second. The throw down to second is not in time.
He's ruling it safe. Oh, the throw wasn't in time. Sorry.
Yes.
Thought you were suggesting Bastion wasn't in time. I misunderstood you.
So Bastion now in scoring position as Gonzalez faced with a 1-1 count and 2 outs. Looking to pad this big train lead even further. The 1-1. Gonzalez fouls that one off for strike 2. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, gets away from Carter. So Bastion will advance to third.
Looked like it nearly hit Gonzalez in the foot. So Bastion now in scoring position with the potential of run number 10.
The 2-2 pitch. That one bounces away from Carter, and Bastion will come home from third.
So the Big Train have now doubled the score. Score now leading 10-5. That ball looks like it knocked off the mask of the catcher. Got away from him there. Gonzalez still alive at the plate with a 2-2 count.
So Gonzalez faced with a full count. Here comes the pitch. That one's chopped. Fielded by Pokarak at first, and he makes the out.
But as you said time and again, the damage has been done.
A 3-spot for the Big Train in the bottom of the 8th. They lead 10-5 heading into the top of the 9th inning. The last chance for the Braves coming up here on Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, where Bethesda leads 10-5 as we start the top of the 9th inning with Chris Morabito.
A pinch hitter coming in. He's a rising sophomore at Bucknell, a product of McLean, Virginia, went to McLean High School.
As Morabito sends this one into right center. Back at the warning track at the wall. This will hop over the fence for a ground rule double. So 2 quick pinch hit at-bats for Morabito. This one going a lot better than the last, as the Braves already have a runner in scoring position 2 pitches into the inning.
Setting up a runner in scoring position as number 46.
It's going to be Jack Pokarak.
Sorry, I got confused. I saw his brother, Sean Pokarak's name on my list first.
First pitch to Pokarak's high and inside.
As the rain is starting to come down once again here at Shirley Povich. Robinson still on the mound for the Big Train.
The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike.
Held the Braves scoreless his last inning on the mound. We'll see if he can replicate that success.
Here comes the 1-1. Off speed in there for a strike.
Although the Big Train has taken a really commanding lead here, leading 10-5, it would take a lot of work from the Braves to catch up, although it can be done, and we've seen it done.
As the 1-2 pitch and off speed outside for a ball.
As we're nearing the end of this game, one of the special things about these morning games is that it is easier for our younger fans to stay till the end of the game, and because of that, they'll get the chance to run the bases at the end of the game. Again, if you have the chance to make it out to Shirley Povich Field, June 30th it will be our next 10 a.m. start. And so if you do have some...
That one gets away from Constable, so Morabito will advance to third.
If you do have some younger family members and you want to bring them out to Shirley Povich Field, June 30th, they will get the opportunity to run the bases at the end of the game.
The full count pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Pokarak goes down swinging for the first out of the inning.
Morabito held at third. As you have the catcher, Jaden Carter, stepping up to the plate.
It's actually going to be Jaden Kalura, I believe, and that one might have hit him.
Oh, sorry, that was Pokarak finishing his at-bat. Now it's catcher Jaden Carter stepping up to the plate with runners now on the corner.
Here comes the first offering of Carter. That one's popped up. Newman's under it, and he's got it for the out.
Excellent job by Newman, having to stare into the now heavy rain starting to pick up here. Having to stare directly into that rain that's falling down, but he makes the catch.
So that'll bring up Zach Scott. As there are 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. The first pitch to Scott, swung on and missed for a strike. Here comes the 0-1. That one popped out of play for strike 2.
So Robinson now ahead of the count. 2 outs on the board for the Braves. 2 runners on the corner.
The 0-2. High and outside for a ball.
So the rain is really starting to pick up here at Shirley Povich.
Here comes the 1-2. Lined through the hole, base hit.
So that'll bring home run number 6 for the Braves as they start to cut into the 5-run deficit they found themselves with.
So the score now 10-6 in favor of the Big Train. As that'll bring up Jamie Laskowski.
Another pinch hitter. Again, rising freshman at William and Mary College, product of Burke, Virginia, attended Lake Braddock. In 2024, he played with the Metro Senators.
First pitch to Laskowski, in there for a strike. As that pitch is taken for a ball. Here comes the 1-1. That one grounded foul for strike 2. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded. Glove by Newman. Gets the out at second. And on to first. It's a game-ending double play. And the Big Train win it 10-6 over the Metro SoCo Braves. A 6-3 double play to end the game. A sweet glove there from Newman to close things out here from Shirley Povich Field. And what a game it was for the Big Train. Resilient once again, putting up a 5 spot earlier in the game to propel themselves to a 10-6 victory.
We've mentioned it again and again on today's broadcast. It's that winning mentality and being able to come back from adversity. They came back from a 4 turned into 5-run hole, and they were able to come back with the victory. We saw them do it earlier this week, and they've done it again. It's that winning mentality, and I think, as Kaylee mentioned and Jack Robinson mentioned when he stepped on the mic last night, this is a great group of guys that are really starting to get to know each other and build a really great culture in that dugout and in that bullpen.
And a handful of positive contributors offensively today for the Big Train. Davin Whitaker hitting his first home run of the summer. Jordan Crosland, a big RBI double. But my goodness, Jaden Bastian, what a game for the Jacksonville Dolphin, both at the plate and in the field as well. Already a candidate for Catch of the Year, and we're not even halfway through June.
That's right. Davin Whitaker, that home run really set into the motion the scoring for tonight. He's definitely, for today, not tonight. He's definitely one of the players of the game, getting that into motion, creating that positive momentum that Kaylee talked about when she joined us in the booth. That positive momentum. Once the bats get hot, they tend to stay hot, and Davin Whitaker set that into motion. Jaden Bastian from the field really coming in handy. He really saved the Big Train out there, being able to hold the Braves scoreless, making that dive-in catch. That's the effort you want to see. Even when you start to go up, you want to see your outfielders and your defense continue to make those difficult plays to hold the opponent scoreless and to hold them back. It's those plays that really make the game and make the team come together. It's the never-ending effort. It's that winning mentality. It's never giving up.
And so the Big Train snapping a 3-game losing streak. This is just what the doctor ordered for Sal Colangelo's crew. Again, the Big Train winning it 10-6 over the Metro SoCo Braves. For my broadcast partner, Phoebe Winters, our production assistant, Jordan Parham, I'm Quentin Corpuel saying so long from Shirley Povich Field.